Hello students, today we are doing lesson 8.1 and we're going to be classifying and evaluating polynomials. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to switch to a different screen and we're going to look at something that's in the book. Okay, so this is from the book and I want you to write some things down. Okay, these definitions are important right here. So we're going to write these 4 definitions. You will not have to draw the chart, but the table, but I want to look at it with you in a minute. Okay, so this is our main word today, is polynomial. That's what this whole chapter is about. Chapter 8 is on polynomials. And what it is an algebraic expression of one or more terms. So we've talked about terms before, we've talked about algebraic expression before. So we're just going to put it all together now. So an algebraic expression, remember, doesn't have an equal sign or an inequality sign. It's just algebraic terms. Okay, so now we have 3 other terms after polynomial, and that's a monomial, a binomial, and a trinomial. So most of y'all know those prefixes. Hopefully you do. Mono means one, so a monomial is a polynomial with only one term. I want you to be writing down all 4 of these definitions. Okay, a binomial, bi means 2, like a bicycle has 2 wheels. And so it is a polynomial with exactly 2 terms. And a trinomial, tri meaning 3, is a polynomial with exactly 3 terms. So now let's talk about what that looks like. Okay, so you should have those written down in your notes. This part we're going to talk about right here does not need to be in your notes. I just want you to look at it. That's why I had this picture up. Okay, so if you look at the monomials here, these are all monomials because there's only one term. Now, each of these things is not a term. This is not 3 terms. That's just one term. Terms are split up with plus and minus signs. So if you look at the next section, the binomials, you'll see that now they have 2 terms. So that's this term plus this term. Okay, so these are the terms. Okay, and so if I have 2 of them, 1, 2, then I have a binomial. Okay, then if you look at the next one, it's a trinomial. So the tri means that I should have 3 terms, and I have 1, 2, 3. See how they're split up with plus and minus signs? So that's a trinomial. And then other polynomials over here just means that there's going to be more than 3. So this one has 4. This one also has 4. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if it has more than 3, you're just going to call it a polynomial. They're all polynomials. All of these are polynomials. But if I have more than 3, I don't have a specific name for it, so we just call those polynomials. Okay, so if you look at the side now, let me erase some of this. If you look over here at the side where it says 1 variable, 2 variables, 3 variables, the variables are like your x, your y, your z. So notice that this only has a y. So it only has 1 variable. And this one right here, there's only x's, and only x's. So that only has 1 variable. The next row has 2 variables. So I have an x and a y, an x and a y, x and y's. And then this last one has 3 variables. So I have a, b, c. And then here I have a, b, c. So that's just how many variables are in it. Okay? Okay, then the next part is called the degree of a term. And so this is a definition you need to write down. The degree of a term is the sum of the exponents on the variables. So we're going to do some examples of that in a little bit. Okay, make sure you write that down. The degree of a term is the sum of the exponents of the variable. Okay, now we're going to go back to my notes. And now you should have some notes written down here with some definitions. But mine does not have definitions because I had them on that picture. Okay, so let's do an example of a degree of term. So if I had just one term, if I had this term, 5 to the x, 5x cubed, y squared, and z to the 4th. So that's just one term, right? It doesn't have any pluses or minuses. And it has 3 different variables, x, y, and z. But now we want to know the degree of the term. Okay, this is our example. So the degree of the term is just taking each of the exponents and adding them up. So we have 3 plus 2 plus 4. So my degree is 9. Okay? Now, if I had another example would be like if I just had the number 8, okay, I don't have an exponent. I don't have an exponent there, and I don't have a variable there. So you would say the variable is like x to the 0 power. So this degree is 0. Okay, so this is really, you don't see that, right? Now, if I just had a x, then my degree is 1. Because if you have the x there, then that's like the power is 1, right? Okay, so let's move on to the next part. The next part is the degree of the polynomial. So this was the degree of a term, right, with no pluses or minuses. And now we're going to talk about the degree of a polynomial. So now we're writing out this definition. I don't have the picture of it. Okay, so that is the degree of the term with the highest degree. So this is really what you're going to be doing today. They're going to be asking you what is the degree of the polynomial, and you're going to have to find all the degrees of the terms and then find the biggest one. Okay, so let's do an example like that so you know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is going to be called example 1. Even though we did an example, this is where we're really starting the examples. Okay, find the degree of, and then here's the polynomial. 3x cubed y plus 2x plus 4xy squared. Okay, so they want to find the degree of this whole polynomial, right? So you do not add up all the exponents. We're going to add them up for each term. So for this term right here, the degree is 4. How did I figure that out? I took the 3 plus the 1 that's not there, but you know that that's 1. So that degree is 4. This degree is, what do you think it is? Think to yourself. It's 1. Okay, and so now try this one on your own. What's the degree to that one? It's 3. Okay, so now my degree for the whole polynomial is just the biggest one of all of those. Okay, so the highest one is 4. So that's my degree of the polynomial. So a lot of times in this, they write it out in words. I don't know why, but they'll say the degree is 4. Okay, so that's how you find the degree of a polynomial. Do not add these up and say 8. Okay, that's wrong. So just find each term and then you pick the highest one. Okay, now let's do some evaluating. We're going to be evaluating some terms. So we've done this before, but so this shouldn't be new to you, but they're just going to be maybe a little bit harder than what we did before. So if I have 2x squared minus 5x plus 6, and they want me to evaluate it when x equals 3. So all I'm going to do is take that 3 and put it in place of x here, and put it in place of x here, right? Okay, so let's try that. I'm going to switch my colors. That yellow's a little weird. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 times 3 squared minus 5 times 3 plus 6. So do you see that all I did was, it's like substitution. I'm just changing my x's into 3's because that's what this one says. Okay, and now I'm going to solve it. And you have to remember your order of operations. So if you don't remember, we'll go over those in just a minute. But I'm going to do my exponent first. So 3 squared is 9. And now I'm going to do my multiplication. So I have 18 minus 15 plus 6. And then my 18 minus 15 is 3. And 3 plus 6 is 9. And that's my answer to the problem. Okay, so let's go over order of operations really quickly in case you forgot. Order of operations is PEMDAS, right? Some of y'all, PEMDAS. Okay, so P is my parentheses. You're always going to do your parentheses first. And I spelled that wrong. Okay, parentheses, and then I'm going to do exponents. That one I just did not have parentheses, so I did exponents first. Then I'm going to multiply and divide from left to right. That's why I did my multiplication here before I did any addition or subtraction. And then I'm going to add and subtract from left to right. Okay, so remember, these are order of operations. We did that at the very beginning of the school year. Okay, now I want you to try one on your own. So this one is example 3. Y'all, if I scroll up too fast and you're still working on something, just hit pause on the video and go back and make sure that you get it all written down. Okay, so example 3 is going to be 5x cubed y plus 2x minus 3y plus 5. And this is when x equals negative 2 and y equals 1. So I want you to hit pause, and I want you to put each of those numbers into the x and into the y, and I want you to solve the problem. And then come back and hit play, and you'll find out if you got it right. Okay, hit pause now. Okay, now you should be back. I'm going to leave a little bit of space here because this is going to be big right here. Okay, I have 5 times negative 2 cubed times 1 plus 2 times negative 2 minus 3 times 1 plus 5. Okay, so if you noticed, I put in the negative 2 everywhere there was an x, right? And I put in the 1 everywhere there was a y. Okay, so that's how I'm solving this. Now I need to do, I know it says do parentheses first, but these aren't the types of parentheses they're talking about. The parentheses that I have on here are just multiplication. Parentheses mean when there's something inside of the parentheses. Sorry, I messed up my screen. Okay, so the next part is exponent. So I'm going to do my exponent, which is the negative 2 cubed, which is going to come out to be negative 8. Okay, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then everything else here, I'm just going to keep the same right now. Okay, now I do multiplication and division from left to right. Well, I only have multiplication. Okay, so I'm going to do all of this first, and that's going to be negative 40 plus negative 4 minus 3 plus 5. Okay, my minus sign is way up high. Minus. Okay, now I'm going to do adding and subtracting from left to right. So I'm going to do this part first. Negative 4 plus negative 4, negative 40 plus negative 4 is negative 44. Okay, then I'm going to minus 3, which that's really plus a negative 3, so that's negative 47. Then I'm going to add the positive 5, and I get negative 42. Is that what you got? If it's not what you got, go back and hit pause and go through each step that you did and check them with each step of mine. And you're probably going to find that a lot of y'all might have messed up right here in this negative 8. Or maybe you messed up when you did the multiplication. Or even adding. Don't add things together until everything's added together. I mean, unless you're going from left to right. Or you can change your minus sign to plus and negative, and now they're all plus signs, and you can do them in any order you want to do them. Okay, so hopefully you got that one right. Let's move on. Oh, nope, no more moving on. That's it for today. So you'll be finding the degree of polynomials, like we did up here, and you'll be evaluating problems. And that's it.